A few minutes ago, we just told you that the Election Commission had made the announcement that they would be announcing the Gujarat poll dates by noon today. Remember, the context here is that some consider this announcement delayed. The Election Commission already announced the Himachal Pradesh dates more than 15 days ago. It had been expected that the Gujarat dates would be announced at the same time. The Congress is criticizing the fact that the EC is tweeting out the dates, announcing the dates rather, today. They've tweeted out, I'm going to read out for you. They've said, this is going to sound as if it is straightforward. They've said, the Election Commission of India is an autonomous institution. It conducts fair elections. They have followed this tweet with 3 emojis that imply that the statement could possibly be a tongue-in-cheek statement. Now, you do have a response already from the BJP. The BJP's hit back. They've said even before poll dates were announced, Congress has started its usual bahana bazi in both states. We'll try to get you more of what he said in the tweet, but I also want to bring you a little more in terms of context. My colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us right now. Pallavi, when read out word for word, it's difficult to tell that the Congress is actually being tongue-in-cheek. I think if we were to play out or show our audiences that there were 3 emojis, for example, that followed that statement, it would be a little clearer for our audiences. But if you could just walk us through what the accusations of the opposition have been right since the day the ECI made it clear that they weren't going to announce Himachal Pradesh dates and Gujarat dates on the same day.
Well, the pot shot which certainly has been coming in from both the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress more specifically is that the Election Commission has always been subservient to the party in power at the centre, which of course is the BJP. And also the election dates were not announced for Gujarat because they were waiting for the Prime Minister to finish off all his inauguration of all the projects which they think can help them in the elections. And that's exactly what is being indicated by the Congress party moments after the Election Commission announced that today the poll schedule for Gujarat will also be out. What the Congress claims is that there was nothing which was really stopping the Election Commission for announcing both the Himachal Pradesh as well as the Gujarat election dates simultaneously. The EC at that point of time also issued a clarification by saying that it was following a proceedings, and the proceedings was the last time round also. First, the Himachal Pradesh election dates were announced, and then the Gujarat was announced later. So there's nothing that was being done which was out of the ordinary or contradictory to the rules. But we know, Toya, how politics is all about. And certainly those pot shots begin, and that strong rebuttal already coming in from the BJP that this is the Congress's way of beginning a damage control, because they know very well that they're going to lose elections in Gujarat. They're going to start blaming either the Election Commission or the EVM machines as well.
Okay, Pallavi, if I could possibly ask you to come in with your own expert opinion over here when it comes to this accusation that you've got coming in from opposition parties and the response from the ECI that this is something they've done before. How out of the norm does it look like to you?
Look, last time round also it's a fact, Toya, that when the election schedule was announced, it was announced for Himachal Pradesh and then for Gujarat. There's a 40-day gap which has to take place between the elections to be concluded and the new assembly has to be in session. In the case of Himachal Pradesh, that 40-day gap was shrinking. Also, the weather is also an important consideration. We know it's a mountainous area. There are many stretches of Himachal Pradesh which becomes inaccessible or difficult to access if the voters want to go and cast their vote. Which is why there was this urgent pressure on the Election Commission to announce the dates of Himachal Pradesh first. And in fact, when we asked this question to EC, even as those dates were being announced, they said pretty much the same thing. That one, there's the proceedings, and second, weather considerations are important considerations whenever a poll schedule is announced.
Okay, Pallavi, I want to very quickly follow up with a question here before we go over to our other reporters. When it comes to the 3 parties that we'll possibly see facing off, there's obviously the BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. The BJP has the issue of a chief minister that changed midway through term. Do we have any indication yet from the BJP about whether or not the current chief minister, of course Bhupendra Patel, whether or not he will continue?
Well, as of now, the BJP doesn't seem to be indicating any change of guard over there. What happens is that I'm going to give a quick example of Assam. Sadanand Sonowal continued to remain the chief minister when Assam went to polls. But once elections were announced, Hemant Biswa Sarma was made the chief minister. They don't formally announce any CM phase. It is done by inference. So there's nothing going to stop the BJP from a change of guard in case the BJP, of course, wins those elections in Gujarat. But we also have to understand the Patel factor. The Patel factor was one of the main reasons the Patidar Andolan, I would say, particularly the last time round led by Hardik Patel, why the Congress party has managed to put up a good show. The BJP certainly wants to do the damage control, and because they wanted to do the damage control, they decided to go in for a change of guard because they felt that his predecessor was not doing a very formidable job in that sense. There was a kind of disarray within the BJP Gujarat unit as well. Second, Hardik Patel joining the BJP. The BJP's calculation is that they would be able to cut the losses which they made the last time round, at least as far as the Patel community is concerned. So by all indications, it seems that Bhupendra Patel will continue as the CM phase, or at least as the Chief Minister, till the elections are over. If any change needs to be taken, that's a call which the party takes later on. But also the fact remains, Toya, that in Gujarat election campaign, I think the main USP of the BJP continues to remain the Prime Minister, because he's been the CM from the state. He's also that's his home state. And his charisma, his lure, the vote bank is something which the BJP has always counted upon.
Okay, Pallavi, one last question for you. Shehzad Poonawalla, the BJP spokesperson, he said, here's the Congress returning to their bahana bazi. I just want to check in with you. We've talked in the last few days so much about the Aam Aadmi Party and their extensive campaigning in Gujarat. But what about the Congress? Okay, we'll try to re-establish that connection with my colleague Pallavi. She was giving us context on this entire story. Shehzad Poonawalla, the BJP spokesperson, he's with us right now. Shehzad, this announcement coming forward from the ECI, followed by a tweet from the Congress that hints at sarcasm. We've seen your response, how you responded very quickly to what they had to say. Would you like to go on further with that response?
You know, this is very unfortunate. When the Congress wins an election in Chhattisgarh, the EC is fine. Otherwise, it raises questions. This conditional commitment to constitution is a hallmark of Parivar countries, and perhaps this is the biggest proof and admission that even before the dates are out, this is an admission of defeat in both states by the Congress party, and therefore they are raising questions and creating an alibi to defend Rahul Gandhi from any kind of flack he might have to face for the impending losses.
Okay. Could I also ask you one more question, Shehzad? 4 days ago, obviously, the entire nation watched as the Morbi Bridge collapsed in Gujarat. We've seen some of the arrests take place. We also know a further investigation is going on. One of the things our reporter has told us again and again is that the BJP has given open permission to its party and to state units and officials that those who were responsible, even within the government, need to be charged. Still, Shehzad, I want to ask you, do you think that the people of Gujarat will think that that's enough?
Well, you know, I think that track record speaks for themselves. 1980s, we've seen the Bhopal gas tragedy and how the perpetrators are allowed to excuse. On the other hand, you have a situation where when this tragic incident has taken place, accountability right at the very top to the bottom will be fixed. Nobody will be allowed to escape. But having said that, that has nothing to do with the Congress targeting the election commission. Today we are talking about the tweet of the Congress party. There's no way to justify that tweet, whatever the argument may be on any other incident, including Morbi.
Sure. All right. Shehzad Poonawalla, thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going to stay with the Gujarat story for a